Australia has approved therapies using ecstasy and psilocybin. Australia is the first country in the world to allow the use of psilocybin and MDMA to treat depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. These notorious drugs have shown therapeutic benefits in numerous studies. Research conducted over the past few decades has shown that substances illegal in many countries, often used recreationally, are effective in treating certain mental disorders when combined with psychotherapy. This includes MDMA, commonly known as ecstasy, and psilocybin, a psychoactive compound found in certain mushrooms. MDMA has shown significant benefits in treating post-traumatic stress disorder. Researchers have shown that psilocybin, when combined with psychological therapy, is as effective in combating depression as leading antidepressants. Yale scientists also demonstrated that a single dose of psilocybin administered to mice caused an immediate increase in neural connections, which may explain the compound's antidepressant effects. Researchers at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine have determined that the beneficial effects of psilocybin-assisted antidepressant therapy can persist for up to a year after treatment ends. Both MDMA and psilocybin have also shown potential in treating anxiety, anorexia, and addiction. Australian authorities have decided to allow the use and prescription of 3,4-methylenedioxymethamphetamine, also known as ecstasy, for medical purposes. In addition, magic mushrooms, known as psilocybin, will also be permitted. Licensed psychiatrists will be able to prescribe them to patients with certain types of depression and those undergoing treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder. Oregon has taken a similar step, allowing the legal use of psilocybin for therapeutic purposes under the supervision of a specialist since January 2023. It's worth remembering that in Poland, both substances are considered narcotics and their possession is punishable by law. In Australia, these drugs have been reclassified as relatively safe when used under medical supervision. As one researcher further explained, ecstasy can help patients open up to their therapist, while psilocybin can make a person feel differently about themselves, which in turn can lead to a renewed zest for life. Individuals taking these substances will be under the direct supervision of therapists. For ecstasy, one therapy session is expected to last approximately 8 hours. There should be 3 such sessions over a 5 to 8 week period. The cost of one such therapy session will be approximately $1,000 or approximately 2,700 Polish zloty. Opinions on the Australian authorities' decision are sharply divided. On the one hand, some argue that this will offer a chance for a more normal life to people for whom previous treatments have proven ineffective. On the other, there are opinions that Australia has jumped the gun here and that this step was taken at least 5 years too early. It's emphasized that regardless of the disease, a drug cannot be released onto the market immediately after its production. Nor will it accept drugs that haven't passed phase 3 or 4 clinical trials. Moreover, representatives of the state institutions responsible for issuing the decision in question admit that the effectiveness of this type of therapy for mental illnesses has not yet been thoroughly confirmed. This appears to be one of those situations where risk is taken, as for some patients the potential benefit may outweigh it. This is especially true given that for some of these individuals, there are currently no other treatment options available. At the same time, they will be warned not to expect this therapy to be a miracle cure for their problems. There are also cases where this treatment has caused some patients to relive their traumas. Therefore, the risk of side effects exists in this case as well. Is music as effective as exercise for improving mental health? New research suggests that singing, playing an instrument or listening to music has a positive impact on mental health, with benefits similar to those gained through physical exercise. A new meta-analysis has confirmed what many music lovers take for granted, that singing, playing, or listening to music can improve well-being and quality of life. A review of 26 studies found that music has a positive impact on mental health that can be compared to the benefits of physical exercise. The research was published in the journal JAMA Network Open. A growing body of research is linking music to well-being. However, the impact of music on mental health and the underlying mechanisms are not entirely clear. There is growing evidence that music has the ability to broadly promote well-being and enhance quality of life. However, the positive association between music and well-being remains unclear, particularly with regard to attempts to integrate music interventions into health and care policy, the researchers write in the published paper. This publication is based on a meta-analysis of 26 previous studies conducted in various countries, including Australia, the United Kingdom, and the United States, involving a total of 779 participants. All of the studies used physical and mental health surveys. 7 studies focused on music therapy, 10 examined the effects of listening to music, 8 examined singing, and 1 examined the effects of gospel music. The meta-analysis confirmed that music is associated with significant improvements in well-being, as quantified by standardized quality of life survey data. The effects were similar whether participants sang, played, or listened to music. The results of the analyses were also compared with other studies assessing the benefits of non-pharmaceutical interventions, e.g., exercise, weight loss, on well-being, and with studies in which the treatment of health problems did not include music therapy. According to the review authors, the mental health improvements from singing, playing an instrument or listening to music are similar to those from exercise or weight loss programs, but at the lowest level. This meta-analysis of 26 studies of music interventions provided clear and quantitative evidence of moderate quality that music interventions are associated with clinically significant mental health changes, the researchers write. Furthermore, a subset of 8 studies found that adding music interventions to usual care was associated with clinically significant changes in mental health-related quality of life across a variety of conditions, they add. At the same time, the researchers note that there were significant differences in the effectiveness of various music interventions among the individuals participating in the studies, even if the overall picture was positive. In other words, music interventions, as the researchers define the introduction of music therapy, are not necessarily something that will work for everyone. Researchers hope that studies like this will encourage healthcare professionals to prescribe certain types of music therapy more often when it comes to helping patients recover from illness or maintain good mental health. For many of us, listening to music or singing is an enjoyable activity and perhaps wouldn't be as difficult as exercising or following a diet. These are further reasons why music can be helpful as a form of therapy. Further research is needed to determine the optimal music therapies and dosages for use in specific clinical situations relevant to public health, the researchers write.